Hey, welcome. You ever see a new, super expensive drug on the news and wonder, how do we actually decide if it's worth the price? Well, that's the big question behind this really cool field called Health Economics and Outcomes Research, or HEOR for short. Today, we're going to dive into what this field is all about and, more importantly, how you can get your foot in the door.
So maybe you're a student or you just graduated and you've got a background in something like science or economics. You're looking at HEOR and thinking, okay, this seems interesting, but where on earth do I even start?
And look, if that's you, you are definitely not alone. It's a pretty complex world, and trying to find a starting point can feel, totally overwhelming. That feeling is completely normal, trust me.
So what makes it feel so tough? Let's talk about what we can call the HEOR entry barrier.
It really boils down to a few things. First, the jargon. It's a lot. You get hit with all these acronyms like QALs and RWE. You know, QALs, that's a quality-adjusted life year. It's this clever way to measure not just if a treatment makes you live longer, but the quality of that extra time. Then you have RWE, real-world evidence. And without a clear roadmap, you're left wondering what's important. It creates that classic catch-22, right? You need experience to get a job, but you can't get experience without a job.
But there is a way to carve out a clear path through all that noise. So let's look at how a guided approach can take you from feeling confused to feeling really confident.
And that's where something like the HEOR Foundation course comes into play. It was literally built for students and recent grads with one goal in mind: to give you a clear, structured, and beginner-friendly way to understand the field from the ground up.
Okay, so what does an investment like this actually look like? Well, the whole course is just a one-time payment of 799 rupees.
And here's the best part. That's not a subscription. It's not something you have to renew. That one payment gets you lifetime access. It becomes a resource you can go back to again and again anytime in your career.
So, what does this journey actually look like? Think of the course as a map, one that's designed to guide you through the pretty complex landscape of HEOR, step by step.
The whole path is broken down into 12 different modules. And because it's self-paced, you can work through it all on your own time. Which is perfect, right? You can fit it around your classes or any other commitments you have.
The whole curriculum is built so logically. You start with the foundations, just learning the basic language and concepts of HEOR. Then you move into the core methods. This is where you get the tools of the trade. You know, everything from building economic models to analyzing real-world evidence. And finally, it pulls it all together with career application, focusing on things like market access roles and getting you ready for that job hunt.
But let's be real, theory is only half the battle. True confidence comes from actually doing the thing you've learned. So how does the course bridge that gap between knowing something and actually being able to do it?
This is how. It's brilliant, actually. You take a core concept you just learned, let's say real-world evidence, and you immediately apply it in a simulated assignment. You get to practice the exact kind of entry-level tasks you'd be doing in a real job, like screening research papers or pulling key data points out of a study.
So the process is designed to build your skills one step at a time. First, you master the concepts in the modules. Then you apply them in that hands-on assignment. You're practicing real beginner-level tasks. And by the end, you've turned that book knowledge into a practical skill you can actually talk about in a job interview.
And that's the whole point, right? All of this is designed for one single outcome: to give you the confidence and the fundamental toolkit you need to go out there and launch your career in HEOR.
And I love this point from the course material. It includes an overview of tasks freshers actually do. This is so important because it goes beyond theory. It prepares you for what's really expected on day one of an entry-level job, like understanding how to do first and second pass screening for literature reviews.
And of course, once you've gone through all the modules and you've completed the assignment, you earn your certificate of completion. This is that tangible piece of paper, that proof of your training that you can put right on your resume and your LinkedIn profile to show employers you've taken the initiative.
So, you see, breaking into a new field, it doesn't have to be so overwhelming. When you have a clear, structured path, you can absolutely build the foundation you need. So the only real question left is, are you ready to take that first